Okay, running will solve 95% of your problems in life. It doesn't matter whether you're going out there for a recovery run, for an interval session, an easy run, or a long run, or you get into the gym. You moving your body over the ground, whether you're running, you're getting to the gym, something else that you're passionate about, it's going to move you forward in life. It's going to give you a sense of purpose, and it's going to make whatever life throws at you so much more easy to deal with. I got this question from John on the video that I posted about junk miles. John says, this is an honest question. What if the purpose of your junk mile runs is for mental health? What if that is the purpose of your running overall? I'm probably in the minority here, but just asking the question. I'm not saying that every run should be junk miles, but could they serve a purpose in that way? Mental health, good sleep, etc. Great question. It is my deep belief that whatever stage you're up to in life, whatever you're going through, running, moving your body and being passionate about something will eradicate 95% of your problems. If you want to stop smoking, the best way to stop smoking is to start running. If you want to stop drinking, the best way to stop drinking is to start running and run more. All of a sudden, you'll realize the two don't go together. If you want to get better in your career, if you want to do better at your job and be respected by your colleagues and people above you, start running. And do it for your reasons. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it intrinsically for your reasons. That's not some motivational spiel. That is my life experience. Running didn't just get me fit. It made everything in my life make sense again. Before I restarted running in 2010, I was just a sheep, following what society was telling me to do, accumulating wealth, having all the nice things that you have and showing that off to the world, and just being a product of my environment in Manchester. The important things to me were the important things for everybody else around me. What I was wearing on my feet, what I was wearing on my wrist, where I was living, where I was going to drink, where I was going to eat. It was such a shallow existence, but I justified it to myself because I was in a very competitive environment and it felt to me a lot like sport back at school, and so I felt in my element. But it was as if my job was just to accumulate wealth, buy stuff, show it off, and the people that I was attracted into my life were not friends, there were no deep connections, it was just materialistic people. Once I started running again, it's not only that everything made sense, the people I was attracting were completely different people. And when everything clicks for you and you start doing something you really love, it doesn't matter whether you're good at it or bad at it or it comes naturally or not. If you do something that you really love and you have that appreciation for delayed gratification, you're not going to be great at it immediately, but you continue pursuing it, you'll realize eventually when you get to the top, or when you get to the top of where you're trying to get to, it was all about the journey. And that sense of purpose is extremely deep. And for me, it was everything around that, but also to do with competition, me versus me, but also against other people. And some of the greatest friendships, greatest amount of respects that I have for people were massive enemies in running. And we'd go toe for toe for 5 hours. One of us would win or beat the other. Those rivalries have turned into, and there was communication barriers because it was when I just got to Spain. Those rivalries will now be lifelong friends because in the moment, and this is so beautiful about sport or anything you're trying to pursue, in the moment, it's not just that you've spent the last 5 hours with that person and you've got that deep respect. That guy went through what I went through and I felt that. You know what he's been through for the last 5-10 years and what he's sacrificed to get to where he is. And that's something I love about running. And it's the same with rugby, it's the same with martial arts. You kill each other, you destroy each other for the fun of the game. Then afterwards, you've got this deep bond, this deep respect for each other. You shake hands, and that was brilliant because we have the choice to be able to do that. And that shared experience, often with people from other backgrounds or different backgrounds to you, builds empathy, it builds perspective on the world, it just builds a greater understanding. Now, coming back to the mental health side, I notice this the most if I've got an injury or if I've got something that takes me out for a couple of weeks. If I've not got access to running, it was a lot worse in the past, and I've managed to manage it better now, but it changes the person I am. If I've not got access to what I love, life isn't as easy. It's like that I've not got access to my physical and building my physiological self, and the mental side is also missing. So my head's not as clear. And then when I go back out and run, recovery run, easy run, all of a sudden that clarity comes back, that creative thinking. Often I'll solve a problem whilst I'm out there running to something I've been trying to figure out for the last couple of weeks. I'll also have my best ideas when I'm out there running because I'm not surrounded by distractions. It's just me and the nature. It's also going to give you much more energy for the rest of the day. So again, easier to deal with the day. And so it's meditative. It's giving you back in so many different ways, physically, physiologically, emotionally, mentally. And it's not something I talk about a lot publicly because I don't film it so often because it feels like I'm trying to get something from it, which I am. I feel it's extremely rewarding, but I see what happens to kids when you insert sport, whether it's football, whether running, into their life. Some of these kids come from really tough situations, no parents or single parent homes, parents can't take care of them, and you watch what running does for them and you cannot not be moved by it. And it reminds me of my own childhood. I grew up outside Manchester and in a place where you could easily go a couple of streets the wrong way, get into the wrong gang, get into a fight, get into drugs, drink, whatever. I didn't have time. Football, cricket, track and field, cross country, badminton, table tennis, everything was organized for me. All I had to do is show up and give my best. And in a place where you could easily take the wrong turn, and many of my friends did, I just didn't have time to get into trouble. My whole life was about sport. And growing up as a kid, you just think the whole world is like you are experiencing. And so that delayed gratification, that learning to play as a team, project management, being terrible at something and failing, super important to do that as early on as possible as you can in life. You take that for granted and you think that it's happening to every kid across the world. But then when I moved to Spain even, but definitely to Southeast Asia, all of a sudden you realize that it's not available to everybody. And actually we're extremely fortunate to be where we're from and for it to be second nature for sports teams to be organized for you for very little money, if anything at all. And years later, when you start your career and you start hiring, you notice the difference in people that have had a sports background and not had a sports background. These guys know how to push themselves. They know that they're going to be bad for the next 3, 4, 5 months. They don't care because they understand delayed gratification. They know that they're going to fail along the way, and that's completely fine because it's part of success. They know how to collaborate and work as a unit, and they know self-awareness. They know their strengths and weaknesses and the strengths and weaknesses of the team. If you've got 2 people to hire, and one of them is running marathons, and she's running marathons in 6 hours, but she's sticking at it. She's getting out there on a regular basis and running versus somebody who's never been in sport. I don't even care what the CV is. Give me this person, because that's character. That is somebody you want on your team because they will figure it out. So when I talk on this channel about optimizing your training, not running junk miles, not running in the gray zone, performance first perspective, then that's because that's what the channel is all about. It's about people who want to take big chunks off their marathon time, their half marathon time, their 5K time, their ultra marathon time. It's about performance. But running is so much more than that. And you are so much more than that as a human being. You're not 2 hours and 59. You're not a person that's reduced to numbers. And I say this quite a lot, and I deeply mean it, that running is, some physical, some physiological, vast majority is mental. And especially when you get to marathon and ultra marathon, that's why I love it so much, because you don't need that much talent to really excel and get towards your potential in marathon running. We often reduce ourselves to numbers and put so much on that outcome. If it's 2:59, I've succeeded. If it's 3:01, I've failed. And people operate like that. You are so much more than your pace or your splits or your marathon time, your Strava segment. So when I say junk miles are not helping your performance, that's exactly what I mean. They're not helping your performance. It's not optimal. But if you getting out of the door every day, every other day is helping you with your mental health and helping you make sense of the world, make sense of the rest of your day, help you with your energy for the rest of the day, be a better colleague, be a better father, a better husband. If it's helping you with your sleep, reducing your stress and enhancing your mood, you're already on the path to a better life. So it doesn't matter if you're running all your runs in the gray zone, because 80-90% of it is your mental game. So if it's helping you, it's not junk, it's incredible.